Hello, and welcome to another episode of Kill the Small Talk, and I'm your host, Alex Caron. On this podcast, we bring in guests from all walks of the entertainment industry, and we get down to the nuts and bolts. On this episode, I am talking to my good friend Genevie Dubé Carpenter. She's a comedian and actress all the way from Canada. Here's the interview. Enjoy. Hello.
Hello. Hi.
How's it going? Good morning. No, good afternoon.
It's afternoon here, kid.
Oh yeah, you're in La Cañada.
I am not the LA.
Not the foothills. Canada.
Yeah, Canada.
Where do we find you today? Are you home?
I am home. I was debating about renting an apartment for a year here because I'm in LA so much, and with my visa stuff, I'm going to be there more full time starting in the fall. But I did end up renting a place here. This is my new place. It's a little eccentric. It's a lot. Yellow wall.
It reminds me of Mexico. Like you have a really nice painting there, and yeah. Oh my God, it's Frida.
Yeah, it's great. I like it. It has lots of personality, so that's why I decided to take it. Yeah.
That's amazing. What city or town are you in?
I'm in Dundas, Ontario. Please don't stalk me, anyone. I'm Dundas, Ontario, which is like 45 minutes from the Toronto airport-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Gotcha. And you were just here. You were making a movie. Can you talk about that?
It's a TV show. It's a comedy, and it actually.
Oh, it's a show. Okay.
That's why I've been up here so long instead of being in LA it's been a while since I've been there.
I thought you guys filmed out here.
No, it filmed in Canada.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's going to be a new comedy TV show. And I'm going to be the female lead in it, which is crazy and exciting, but
that's amazing. Yeah. Are you, did you have to audition, or did you know someone you were offered the role, or
yeah,
how did that
have
happen?
To audition. I did, I actually was in LA when I got the call for it.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the writers, I know I've done like many shows with him. And so he kind of had me in mind, I guess, but he didn't tell me. And I was going to audition for just like a lesser role. And then they told me, they were like, no, we want you to read for the female lead. And I was like, what? I have no business doing this. I took like acting coaching after. Like,
wait, is this your first acting role?
Like properly, yeah. And it went so smoothly. It was so great. It worked so well. I worked so well with the guys. I had imposter syndrome the whole time because the people I was working with, like one guy had been in like The Boys and What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah.
Guy, like a comedy legend in Canada. He was on Mad TV for a while. He has like over 200 credits. The last movie he just did was with like Woody Harrelson. I had mega imposter syndrome, but I prepared. Like I did the work. Like I went into acting coaching, like personal private acting coaching, and it's really helped me. And I'm still continuing to do it right now to hopefully land some other stuff.
I was going to say, yeah. Do you like it even more so now that you've already?
Yeah, I love it. It was such a crazy experience. It was so much fun. And I just like enjoy the acting coaching regardless. Like I just get so much out of it. It's amazing. By the way, I'm sorry if you're hearing crunching in the background. It's my dog eating a treat. Yeah, she's going out a treat. So, I mean, it's better than barking. So,
yeah.
Yes, maybe it's a little ASMR-y for the podcast listeners.
It is. My anxiety's gone away.
Perfect. All along by giving her that.
I found your guys' next side hustle. In between acting jobs, you and your dog can get into ASMR work. There's a lot of VO jobs for that. But that's great. Okay, so for my listeners, you are blah, blah, blah. Let me backtrack. We met 5 years ago. Was it? It
can't be, because I only started comedy in December. It'll be 3 years for me.
Oh, okay, 3. Yeah, and that was through Jason. So for those of you guys that don't know, Genevie is a comedian.
Well, if you're gonna pretend to be French, at least say my name properly.
Geneviève.
Merci. Thank you.
Mon ami, yeah, je m'appelle Pierre Caron. Bonsoir, bonjour. So this is my actual accent. I this whole time I've been pretending to be American, but I'm actually
Right.
French.
Right. Right.
Uh, but for our American listeners, Genevieve uh, is a comedian, and you and I met. So I was producing. I'm still producing a comedy show, but now it's we turned it into a comedy variety show. So now it's improv,
That's so fun.
sketch, and stand up. Um, but before that, it was purely stand up. And Jason brought you because he was headlining one of my shows, and
Yeah.
he brought you to the show, and you and I. That's where you.
Hearing this, I knew it's like right around her crazy time. I was like,
I don't know if you remember this, but
what?
we we were at the show, and it was so I used to host it at an art gallery, so all the art was obviously displayed
Yes.
on the walls, and my good friends at the Stay Gallery who own it were telling me because before each show they would say, hey, make sure the audience members don't lean against the wall and mess up the art. And I had to tell you like 3 times.
Honestly, this tracks for me. Okay. I want to blame my ADHD, but it's just, I don't know. This tracks for me. I am that person. Like, I will trip and spill something all over the place
Well,
myself.
thankfully that didn't happen. But I didn't know you were Jason's friend. I thought you were just like a random person who just like stumbled upon the show, and then he introduced me to you after. I was like, oh,
So
you're.
funny. Ah, that's the first time I met you. That's right.
That
Yeah.
was the first
We
night.
had we had come from another show, like we did together, and he was like, "Do you want to come to another show?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I think that's what happened that night. I think that's
Okay.
it was either that or we were going to another show after because we had been doing several shows randomly like together.
Yeah.
Um, the first show we had done, I think, was something that like Kevin had put together, and then that's why we became weird fast friends. That I mean, that's comedy. You have the weirdest best friends that like in any other space probably wouldn't be your best friend. It's
Oh yeah. I was listening to another comedy podcast, and they were literally talking about. It might have been on Smartless. They were literally talking about like how like you'll be in a green room, and there'll be like a tall like black trans woman and a short like little person, and then and or just people with all different backgrounds and walks of life, and now they're just in a room and they like all become like just the best of friends, and then they all like do shows
yeah.
together.
It's the weirdest space. It's there's something weird in common that maybe you can't even talk about between each other that has like I mean you are doing stand-up comedy. It's brought you together.
Hmm.
Um, but I just feel like there's something in people that are doing stand-up that is familiar in each person.
Yeah.
And whether it's trauma or like drive for something or whatever. And I'm truly like some of my favorite people in the whole world are from this stand-up comedy world that are like in their early 50s or whatever, male, female, whatever, that like there just is no other space that this would have happened in. So
Totally.
it's been kind of great. I like it. It's just like weirdly finding your people. It's a
Yeah.
strange thing.
Yeah. And I've always been that way. Like since I was a kid. Like I remember growing up, and like I had friends like my age, but I was really more intrigued in people who were older than me. Like we like at family parties we would have like cousins over, and all the cousins we were like all the same age, and I would play with them, but but I would spend a majority of the time sitting on my mom and dad's lap, wanting to listen to all the adults, and wanting to hear their stories and their jokes. And so like in comedy I feel like that's kind of like I felt some of those traits carry on into it as well, because like Jason's my dad's age. He literally, and I joke, for those that don't know, I'm talking about Jason Collings, who I had as my first guest. He's my dad's age, and I joke around with him like, dude, both of you are 54 years old, both white guys who married, Hispanic Latinas, who have 2 kids, who grew up in Lakewood and Long Beach.
That's
Like,
crazy.
come on.
That's actually the perfect formula. That's actually crazy.
Yeah, and and now we're friends. Like we're buddies. Like he tells me, like, dude, anytime you want to come to show, like, don't even hesitate. Like I got you.
Yeah. That's so interesting. See,
Yeah.
I don't have this weird thing of being like, this comic is the same age as my parents because my parents had me so late, so they're so much older.
Mm,
So I never, but at the same time, I mean, part of it is like Jason is so young to me because
yeah.
I'm so much older, right?
Right.
A good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you get into stand up? Because I know you were like you modeled before, then you got into like you were a ballet dancer, right? Like as a kid.
No, no. I mean, I did ballet, but private ballet, but that was only to help with figure skating. I was a competitive figure skater for
Sorry, not ballet. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, figure skating.
it's
That's what I meant
okay.
to say.
Fine. It's totally fine. Yeah, I got into stand up. It was kind of it's a very long story and I don't want to like bore the listeners,
No,
but
please tell us. We literally have like 45 minutes left.
okay. Um, yeah, from I think I started skating around 5 years old. There were some interruptions, there were some knee surgeries, a lot of dislocations, torn Achilles, different things, but I retired I was about to turn 23. And I decided at that point in time I wanted to focus on my education. And I was in
Hmm.
university while I had like around when I was like a normal time, but I was only taking one class a semester, kind of a thing with skating.
Yeah.
So it took me a long time to finish my undergrad, finish whatever. When I retired from skating, after the kind of life that you have where it's like the self-discipline is like it's almost a sickness, like you need more of it physically and emotionally. Like I can you hear this construction too?
Yeah, but it's I mean, it's faint. You're good. You're good.
It's the worst over here. Um I started doing fitness modeling because someone picked me up after skating. And I was powerlifting and then got into that. And then someone reached out to do bodybuilding. And it's a lot of the same like discipline and
Yeah, sure.
same intensity. It's honestly, it was a little lighter than figure skating in a lot of ways. So
Really?
that, yeah. And the fitness modeling thing just came and it was great. It was fun. Um, there were some issues with that later on, like body image wise. But I did get into that afterwards for a while. Then I was just strictly sticking to like academics. I took a little break from fitness, which was very well needed. It felt like the first break in my life since I was like 6 years old or something. And
Damn.
it was great. But I was doing my my post, like studying osteopathy
Yeah.
and miserable in the clinical aspect and like just misperforming. I didn't realize how important performing was to me because even in bodybuilding, there is like at least you're getting to the goal of going on stage and performing
Right.
something.
Yeah, there's the shows. Uh-huh.
And then the fitness modeling is another kind of performing, and then whatever. And I was really missing it. It was lacking in my life. And then I started dating someone in comedy who's like a very successful person in comedy. And we would like drive around and I would like tag on jokes all the time or come up with shit. And he was like, "How are you doing one day?" And I was like, "I'm honestly really miserable. Like I'm misperforming, but I don't know like in what I could possibly." And he was like, "Why aren't you doing comedy? Like you're so funny one on one, whatever." Like I don't think so, but he just was like, "You should be just try it." So instead of asking him for the help, I actually had an incredible friend in Canada who tours mostly in Canada, Michael Moses. He has a great TikTok account, every day, same time situation. And he actually, he was like, "I'll put you on a show." He was like coming to this part of Canada at one time and he
Uh-huh.
did a 7 minute set. And I went on stage. I thought I was going to bomb because everyone says like you're going to bomb for the first few times,
Yeah.
several times. And I went on stage and it went well. Like I remember like going on stage, like making kind of a first little joke about it being my first time and like seeing people in the front row, like smiling and laughing a little bit. And I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh, I like this. Like this is amazing. And then that first show that I ever did, I booked 3 shows for the following week from other like comics that hosted shows in the crowd,
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah.
And so it just snowballed from then on, and then got to a point where I was like, I'm really unhappy in this part of my life, like osteo, and I'm obsessed and in love with and passionate about this aspect of my life. So it just, yeah. And I just decided then, like, this is it. This is what I want to pursue, and I love it. So,
Did you have a set prepared? Did you have like a journal? Did you write down your jokes, or
oh my
did
God,
you
of
riff?
course. No, of course. No, no, no. So one thing you have to know, someone's like an ex-academic, but someone that with figure skating, the extreme effort that goes into it and several hours a day on ice and then several hours off ice every day of work, and then also balancing like school and education. Like I'm someone that if I like something and I thought I might like it, I'm going to work really hard at it.
Hmm. Hmm.
I can't help it. It's just like how I am, who I am.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, I'm the same way.
yeah, that's perfect. And so you get it. And so, no, I was like very prepared. Did I go off book a little bit? Yes, but that's part of comedy.
That's
And
fine. Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah.
discovered that I just like being on stage and performing and like talking to the people and like whatever. So, yeah,
That's great. Do you remember your first jokes?
kind of. Yeah, I think I had a joke about that's a true story. I had a few things. I had a few things about like I was in anthropology, I was figure skater, fitness model, whatever. So I kind of started running out of things to be insufferable online with, so that I thought I would start stand comedy. And then I think there was one, it's a true story about how I was like recently single in my early 20s at one point.
Uh-huh.
I had never really had a one night stand. And this is like, I'm not a one night stand kind of girl, so it's like not my
Yeah.
thing. But I'm like, I finally had thought I was having a one night stand, breaking up with this person. And I'm like, I'm going to do it tonight. My friends were like, you gotta like get, like under someone to get over someone. Like that crazy girl cult shit when you're
Yeah,
in your
great
20s.
advice.
Awful advice. But I blacked out drinking that night, and I woke up in the morning and I was like facing the one wall, and this isn't how the joke went, but generally I was like you know when you're like waking up, you're moving your mouth like ew,
Yeah,
like,
you're groggy.
and I was like I felt like crusties, and I'm like, wait, did I? And I felt like a presence in the bed when I went to move the blanket, and I'm like, oh my God, did I? And like I literally like slowly turned over,
Uh-huh.
and in bed with me was not a man, but it was a Costco-sized jar of peanut butter with a quarter of a bagel left rammed inside of it. And that was the crusties. I was like, I thought I had a one night stand. I was like excited for myself, but scared. Like, I was like, did
Uh,
I? Oh, it was with that. And like, that was one of the jokes. I don't know. I hardly remember now, but
you had a
yeah.
one night stand with a peanut jar.
Yeah. Costco size. So there's that. She's rich.
So it was my height. It was 5'6".
It was me. Oh my God. Do you know how
Family
hard
size.
it is to get peanut butter out of bedding? Very
I
difficult.
can, yeah, I can imagine. Oh, that's hilarious.
And honestly, like massive waste of late night carbs. Like the bagel wasn't even toasted.
Yeah,
That's the worst.
yeah.
Bagel
Oh, no.
wasn't toasted. Other shit. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So those were your first few jokes.
Yeah.
I went in because
Yeah. There's
I was taking a stand-up class at the
okay.
theater art school that I was going to.
Very
And
cool.
I've always looked up to stand-up comics. I never thought I would like, do it or try it. I've always admired comedians.
Of course.
But then this school like offered a class, and I was like, hell yeah, yeah, like I'll
Why
take it.
not? Yeah.
And then I had my first show at the Comedy Store with Vargas Mason, and killed. I thought, I did great. But literally like seconds right before I went up to my comedian friend who got me the show, and I was like, David, like my left arm is giving me out. Like I'm having a heart attack. Like I can't.
First ever show was at the Comedy Store.
was at the Comedy Store in the belly room, yeah.
Holy, that's crazy.
At the Comedy Store, yeah, yeah. I know. Wow, I was like, this is the same
That's a
stage that
lot.
Robin Williams has been on, and Jim Carrey, and
Yeah, that's what you're thinking. You're just
yeah. Well, that's why I was like one because like all my friends and family were there. I had like 15 people.
Of
And
course.
then if you've never been to the comedy store, there's three different rooms. There's the main room, there's the belly room, and then there's the what's the third
Your
one?
original room.
The original room. Right, right, right. I was in the belly room, which is like the smaller room up the staircase on the left. And it's like intimate. It's kind of small. Like it feels small. And then there's these like neon signs of different comedians' faces on there. It's like Robin
Yes, I
Williams.
cannot believe.
Uh, yeah, and I remember seeing them, and it was like pitch black. I was terrified out of my mind because I come from
Yeah.
theater. I come with like scripts and stuff. So yeah, I was nervous out of my mind. I was shitting my pants, and then my friend David, friend David Connolly, was like, Alex. He was like, you're okay. Like you're fine.
Yeah.
Just pretend like you're speaking to your five best friends.
Yes.
And as soon as he said that, like my heart immediately started pounding less, and I was fine, and I did a great first show. And of course Vargas was like, dude, he's like, you brought in 15 people, so he
Yeah.
invited me again, and I did
But your
okay.
family and friends become less supportive the more you go.
Yep, and they started supporting me less and less.
You said you felt like you're gonna shit your pants. I've
Oh yeah.
serious question for you. Do you ever get nervous diarrhea? Because I
Yes.
do.
Yes, I do.
I'm
I
not
know
a
people who get nervous vomits, but yeah.
then the nervous pee thing? No, I get diarrhea. Like I literally know immediately. Like when my something drops and I'm like, oh no. When I get hot and I'm like, I need to hit the toilet before.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
bad all the time. Yeah, it
It's
happens.
the worst. Do you feel that way every show? But
No,
not
definitely not.
anymore, huh?
No, but I mean, I'm always a little nervous and I want to be prepared, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, wait, there's something else you said I wanted to mention. I can't remember.
Comedy Store, Vargas, for show. Uh,
Nah, I can't remember. It's fine. If you come back to me later, it's fine.
so your first shows were in Canada.
Yeah, some of them, and then I came down to LA for like a different reason, but I got booked on a ton of things once I went down there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, they were in Canada. It was how was that? It was December 14th, 2022.
You have it tattooed?
Yeah, it's so cheesy. I don't want to talk about it, but I mean, it's really tiny. It's like hard to see. It's this little
What?
tiny little
Wait,
baby.
wait, wait. What year was it?
2022.
2022. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I love it. It's like love of my life. So I was like, ah, might as well
Yeah.
commemorate something there.
I don't have any stand-up tattoos.
I feel
Um,
like the really bad ones are like a microphone or something. So at least I
I
have
was
that.
I was thinking about getting like the happy, like sad, like face for
Yeah,
like
yeah,
here, but I
yeah.
was like, that's cliche. Like everyone gets that.
Yeah, how would I get it? If it means something to
I
you,
kind of want to
that's
get it.
cute.
Yeah,
Yeah, get
it
it.
does.
There's
It really
probably
does.
some really beautiful versions of it. Like,
Yeah, my sister's a tattoo designer, so maybe I can have her design me
that's
something really
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so so yeah, okay. So you're in and out of LA and Canada, and you just shot this TV show.
Hmm.
What's next? You got the
Uh,
acting. You got bit by the acting bug. You wanna?
yes, I do actually have another project lined up. The first three episodes film. I can't really talk too much about it, but
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going to be co-hosting something.
Okay,
It'll be like a live performance situation being filmed, and I'm going to be co-hosting um, part of it. Yeah.
gotcha. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Are
It's good.
you are you would you be open to like doing like theater as well, or do you just want to stick to film and television?
I don't want to brag, but I was Grand Prix numéro 1 in a school production when I was in grade 6, okay, which was a lead. And I crushed that shit. But yeah, no, I definitely I'm open to all of it. I actually after this I have an appointment at 4 p.m. my time for private acting coaching again. So, and she's actually going to help me put things together. She's very successful in the industry with a lot of Hollywood things that come up here to film and stuff too.
Hmm.
And So she's gonna help me. So I'm like excited about just the idea and the potential prospects and all that stuff. I'm just enjoying it, and I'm really enjoying just the practice and stuff as well. And it's just fun. It's been good.
Yeah.
And lots of shows.
Lots of shows.
I'm gonna be in Austin, the 24th to the 28th, opening for someone who does comedy magic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was on like America's Got Talent. He's crushed it. He's also done a lot of like film and different things as well, but he tours all over doing it.
Is that going to be at the Comedy Mothership?
Not at the mothership, no, elsewhere. But he
Okay.
a lot of people there. Like he's worked there and stuff before. But yeah, yeah,
Gotcha.
it's gonna be fun.
And you do a
Really.
lot of shows in Chicago too, because Chicago's pretty close
Yeah,
to
yeah. So well, they love me
Canada.
there. So I keep getting invited back. I mean, I've done the Laugh Factory there, but more importantly, I continue to do it's called Comedy Bar Chicago. Uh,
Uh-huh.
I mean, I love that club. It's probably like one of my favorite clubs of all time to perform at. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just recently there again for four days of shows, and that was my fourth time being invited back there.
Damn.
Yeah, that's great. I love it there.
Do you find differences, or what differences do you find in like doing comedy in the United States compared to like Canada? In any shape or form, whatever that
Well,
may be.
I think they're extremely similar in the sense of like, they're both big countries, and everywhere you go, there's going to be different people, and there's different
Yeah.
regions. I recently did Montreal as well, and all that kind of thing. So you just kind of have to play to your audience. Like there are differences. No, there are differences between cities and like sides of the country. There are not differences really between Canada and the United States, if that makes any
Right.
sense.
I think I know what you mean.
It just depends on like where you are. Like the diversity and the type of person varies in general. Like I find similarities between doing like New York, Toronto, and LA. There's like a
Yeah.
lot of similarities. And then there are differences between and Chicago. And then there's differences between like, I did a show an hour outside of Montreal that was in the middle of nowhere, and that
Yeah.
was a different kind of audience, but that's in Canada. And then I've done, oh my God, I did, when I opened for someone bigger in like a theater in, what was it called? It was in Nevada where they have,
Uh-huh.
but it was like, that
Mm.
was also a very different crowd. Like it just, time, place, venue,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
all
yeah, yeah.
very, so I don't see a lot of differences, particularly between Canada and the US.
Yeah.
It's actually a lot of the same, and it just depends on like where you're kind of going within.
Yeah.
Three.
And then you obviously, change maybe certain jokes depending on like what city you
Uh,
go to, or like you point
uh,
out things of like LA or things in Chicago, things
of
in
course, always, yeah.
Toronto and yeah, Montreal and
And I mean, I love to make jokes about being Canadian when I'm in the US,
yeah.
obviously. And sometimes in Canada, I make jokes about having just been in the US because I'm there all the time. So you just have to, yeah. Yeah.
What do Canadians generally think of Americans?
Um,
Especially nowadays.
right now, this is like not to get political. Let me put my lip gloss on and think about this.
Oh, Red, I know which party she's affiliated with.
No, that's so funny. No, not at all. Let me just say this. The last few times I've been to America, which I've been quite a bit in the last few months,
Yeah.
the border, like the customs line at the airport is a lot shorter.
I bet.
People are scared in
Yeah.
Canada. And I actually was randomly talking to like a lovely like waiter the other day. He was like, I went to Chicago because like I had to, but he's like, I've been postponing this one trip. He's like, because I'm scared to cross the border. Because we hear stories up here about people being detained, and some of it is true. Canadian, just, one girl was just trying to renew her work visa and
Uh-huh.
got for weeks, and just different things. So
Like with eyes?
like at the border, like taken and put like for weeks. It's
Oh
happening
my
to
gosh.
Canadians as well.
I didn't know
Um,
because you never hear about that. You never hear about like the
I
northern
mean,
border.
the thing is, we hear a lot about it in Canada, obviously, when it happens, but you
Yeah.
never hear about it because this has never in history really happened. It's
Right.
not a normal thing.
No.
So this has been new since recent presidency, and it's been scary for a lot of Canadians. And it's also been because of like the tariff war and all these different things when we're just like, wait, what? Like we're just over here chilling, and we've always had this North American trade agreement that's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
meeting
Yeah.
each other, and now all of a sudden you're kind of like coming for. So a lot of Canadians, which I'm surprised because again, like Canadians are the nicest. Like I always say, all of our aggression is in our geese, like the Canadian goose, which are scary as fuck. But
I've seen videos.
truly, like,
They're harsh.
yeah, no. But that's why, like, we're known as being kind and friendly for a
Yeah.
reason, and everyone in Canada decided to just kind of band together and sort of like stop buying certain American goods and different things. And part of that has become this like they're not going to vacation in the US anymore. I actually know several people that canceled their vacations in the US,
Yeah. Yeah.
because they were like, we're not going to right now while this person is in power. And yeah, like why should we? It's cool elsewhere. Honestly, the UK and Europe is right here in Toronto. It's like 5 hours. It's the same basically the same flight time to LA for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I get it.
If you want to go to France, yeah, go to Montreal. It's
Oh
France
yeah.
Junior.
I mean, well, also Montreal, yeah, which is gorgeous, by the way, incredible. But yeah, just you can just literally hop over to Europe from Toronto. It's like so close. It's almost a flight to LA. It's just a little more. But yeah.
Yeah. Wild. Yeah. Yeah, we've always had this, like the generalization of Canadians with like Americans has always been like our friendly neighbors from the from up north, and yeah, they're really friendly and say sorry and about
I do.
oh, you do say
I
about.
can't help. I catch myself all the time, especially when I'm in the US, saying about. I
I've
say
heard you. Yeah,
occasionally it slips. When I'm drinking, that's when I get like French Canadian, like my accent. Oh,
I've seen that. I've seen that side.
I try to quell it the rest of the time. Yeah, you definitely have seen that for sure, one or two times.
Yeah, I've heard a sorry slip in.
Oh, always a sorry and an A.
I never hear you say a.
Mm. Do you know why? Because I literally land, and if I'm there for like a couple of months or whatever, I land and I hear myself say it a couple of times when I'm down there, and then
Yeah.
it takes one person to be like, "Oh, Canadian," and I'm like, "Lock it up!" Like I lock it up. Not that I'm not proud of to be Canadian, but when I'm down there and I speak to like family or friends back home and I hear the AA come out, I'm like, oh yeah, it kind of does make you sound dumb. Like Canadians are so smart, but it kind of does. I get the stereotype.
It's the equivalent of the redneck southern accent.
It could be, but I could argue that I feel like a Minnesotan accent is more Canadian than the Canadian accent.
Yes. Yeah.
It's more
really? More.
Canadian
Oh.
sounding than than an American place, time and place.
Right.
Like,
Oh, don't you know?
oh, don't you know?
Don't you know?
The fridge, eh? Yeah.
I
Anyway,
mean, they're right there. But
I feel like it's more Canadian sounding than like the way that America portrays how Canadians sound. I feel like that's more Canadian sounding than Canadians.
the
Like,
Canadians themselves. I know,
yeah,
because you listen to like
a wooden accent. Like it's yeah.
like you listen to I actually had the awesome opportunity to meet Russell Peters. I was going to say Kurt Russell. Russell Peters.
Also, Kurt Russell.
Also Kurt. Yeah, that would have been a privilege. Russell Peters. I met him. He headlined Jason's show at the Stand Up Comedy Club in Bellflower, and I was totally fangirling. Like outside, I was like, "Oh my god, that's Russell Peters!" And I went up to Jason. I was like, "Hey, like, could I go talk to him?" He was like, "Yeah." He's like a normal dude. I was like, "Okay."
So chill. He's so nice.
And I was like, "Hey, do you think he'd say okay to be on my podcast?" He was like, "I don't know." He goes, "Your podcast is new. You don't have many followers." He was like, "I don't know. You can always ask." So I went up to him. I was like, "Hey, man, like, I'm such a huge fan. Let me know if you can tell me no, but I would love to talk to you about comedy and stuff on my podcast. It's fairly new." He goes, "Yeah, I'm down." He was like, "Take my number." I was like, "What? Really?"
Yeah, he's a
And he was
nice.
like, yeah. He's like, take my
Yeah.
number. He's like, where do you guys record? I'm like, oh, we're in Santa Clarita. He goes, oh, that's not too bad. He's like, I'm in Malibu. He's like, I can make that drive.
He's so nice.
And
Yeah.
he's so friendly.
Hmm.
But yeah, I didn't know he was Canadian. He didn't sound like it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, he grew up around Toronto as well. I might
Right.
have a bit more of an accent because I grew up in French
French Canada.
schools.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I grew up in French schools, but actually, I grew up in an English speaking area. We didn't have English class until high school, but I just kind of got the best of both worlds because of that.
Yeah.
And but I know that I have a little bit of an accent
Did you
because
grow up speaking both languages?
yeah, totally.
Like at
Yeah.
home? Like with your mom and your
Yeah,
parents?
with my mom a bit. My dad actually is his parents are from the UK, but my dad was bilingual, so like he could help with French homework, like all my homework and stuff as well. So you can't help but be speaking French at home when you're doing homework at home in French. And my mom encouraged French speaking as well. And I also grew up in a very like with my grandparents, but they're gone now, so I barely use my French anymore, which is kind of sad,
Oh,
but.
totally. Is
Yeah.
that where Dubé Carpenter comes from?
Yeah, Dubé is my mom's last name, which is what I use for stage, Geneviève Dubé, because my first name is so French. I'm like, that's gotta make sense. Like,
Yeah.
and the other part of my last name is Carpenter, which is super
The
English.
yeah, English, yeah, the English side.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because well, we have something in common. My dad's side is French Canadian, and yeah, they immigrated from France to French Canada and down to California, but they stopped speaking French because this was like early 1900s, and
Mm,
they wanted to assimilate into American culture, and
understandable.
and stopped speaking the language. So I think my grandfather's dad spoke it a little, but would like barely speak it to him. So like he didn't grow up with the language, so it just kind of
So
stopped
sad.
there. I know, and I would love to learn and get better. I understand a few words, but I
I
you
can
know
help. No, you've spoken in French to me before. It's not so bad.
it's okay. I think because I speak Spanish as well, and Spanish is also a Latin based language. It's a little easier for me to understand some of like the vocabulary.
Hey, I'm heavily, if you have a Duolingo for French, I'm heavily on
I do.
Duolingo for Spanish. We can become friends on
Well,
Duolingo.
yeah. Oh, I would love that. We
I
we
love
could
that.
we could help. I'll teach you Spanish. You'll teach me French.
I also, when I was in Chicago, it was my fourth time there, and this is kind of embarrassing, nerdy shit. I've always wanted to do this like boat, like architectural tour, so I did it by myself. And I learned a lot of things about the history of Chicago, and part of it was that it was a part of New France. Like it was a part of,
Yes.
I didn't
Uh-huh.
know, like that was
Yeah.
the OG Chicago was French Canadian,
Yes.
basically. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, go. It was sweet. But I had no idea.
Yeah. Well, if you look at it, because of the Louisiana Purchase, which went from northern United States, like yeah, Illinois, all the way down to Louisiana. So like
Yeah,
the East Coast was colonized by the English and like the Dutch, and then the Spanish down in Florida, and then the Midwest was all French territory, and then on the left side, on the West Coast, was Spain. It was Nueva España.
yeah.
So you had New France, yeah, Nueva España, and then yeah, and then New England.
I had no idea. Obviously, I don't know too much about the history of America, but yeah, I had no idea. That's really cool.
I was gonna ask you, do you have any comedy horror stories that you'd be willing to share? I don't know, I don't know, like a what's that?
Of course. I think everyone like that's been doing it for a while, or even, hustling as hard as I do, doing as many shows as I possibly can. Yeah, of course I do. I have a few, where do I start? Um, I have done comedy in like a bowling place where people are still bowling in the background, and
Oh
it's like
gosh.
strike, like the whole thing off on stage. A pool hall that has so many billiards tables and they're going, and you hear the like
Yeah, hear
constant,
the clinking. Yeah.
and it's louder than you think until you're on stage and you're like, hold on a second. I had a very drunk man rush the stage one time. Um,
What?
yep. And
Yikes.
thankfully, the two people running it ran up on stage. Like, I didn't know what I panicked and I just gave him the microphone. And I was able to recover
Oh my
after,
God.
like when they took him
Uh-huh.
off, like I made like a joke about something about his hat and it was fine. Um, and then recently when I was in Chicago, actually, and this isn't Comedy Bar's fault, so I just want to preface by
Yeah.
saying that. I was getting ready to go on stage featuring, and I'm pacing back and forth in the hall, like the back hallway kind of a thing.
Hmm.
And I didn't know how long the guy on stage was going to take. 10 guys, a group of like, it was probably like 8 to 10 ish men came out of the elevator. And normally, I guess they don't let people in late, but for whatever reason they did.
Yeah.
They came out of the elevator and they were in golf gear and clearly drunk. Like it was like a bachelor party kind of situation. I think they went to Chicago for whatever. And I'm there, like, kind of getting myself ready. And two of the guys start to try, like, to talk to me. And this is like a issue with being a female comedian that can be really frustrating. And I need to learn how to handle it better. But I'm trying to go over my set and they're trying to talk to me. And I'm like, they offer to buy me a drink. And I'm like, I'm just trying to go over my set. Like, I'm going on, like, next. So
Yeah.
I'll be
I'm good.
few minutes kind of a thing. And I'm being nice. But then they're like, oh my God, you're going on, blah, blah, blah. And they're like really pushing and pushing and like, just have like a drink. And I'm like, no, I'm about to,
That's one of them.
my phone's on silent. What the hell? Oh, sorry, it was on Do Not Disturb. And no, it's not. But definitely not. But I finally go like, no, thank you. I'm going on stage. Like, thank you so much. Goodbye. And I just
Yeah.
went to the green room for the rest of it. They got
Uh-huh.
seated, whatever. And I was super polite. Like, thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah.
I go on stage and I'm not joking for like the first half of it. Everything that I said, these two guys are booing me. Like this just happened and no one did anything about it for like the first half of the show. And it was exhausting. It was, I should have handled it better, but I just, instead of like really addressing it, it took me a minute to address it, then I addressed it. But even
Hmm.
addressing it didn't do anything. And I just tried to ignore it the whole time, but it really messed up my set.
Yeah.
And it was so uncomfortable. Like the whole room was uncomfortable. Like people were like looking back, looking at each other, and I didn't know how to recover it. And that was like an amateur thing for me. Like I didn't know how to recover the room and recover the set and recover all of
Hmm.
that. So that's kind of like my horror story. I guess it's recent that's happened.
Yeah.
Um, I'm used to some guys like heckling me, like that's happened a couple of times, and I can only like manage it in a way of like making fun of the guy. It happened. I was opening up for, I don't know if you know who Ed Bassmaster is.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
I was opening up for him, and these two guys in the front row were clearly like super drunk.
Yeah.
And I, you know, kind of like dug into them a bit because they were heckling me as soon as I came out, like about being hot. They literally were telling me, like, show my tits. They were literally yelling, like, show my tits and stuff like that. And I tried to handle it by making fun of them, like, aggressively. I'm like, oh my God, you're drinking Miller Lite, like, put, like, whatever, like,
Yeah.
just a couple of things like that. But they just didn't stop. And I was looking around in this, like, venue we were at that isn't a comedy club, it's like a bigger venue. And nobody was there to, like, do anything. And they just kept yelling shit out. So it's, seems to be like that's the recurring thing. I've never had an issue
Yeah.
with a female audience member.
Of course. Yeah.
It's always like drunk guys,
Yeah.
including the guy that rushed the stage. So that's kind of been my shitty situation with comedy. But every time it happens, I'm trying not to get too distracted and
Yeah.
topic, but
Do
that's
you
been
find
my,
yourself maybe perhaps I don't want to say struggle, but like just dealing with like the challenges of because like I feel like comedy is such like a male dominated field.
Mhm.
And then there's like the whole like I hate the stereotype because I don't think I don't think it's true at all.
I love
But
that
like the whole
yourself. It's
what
good.
what's
Nobody
that?
thinks. I love how much you're protecting yourself. It's because you're the like an incredible like the best version of a male in comedy. So it's like
I
you're good. Don't
Well,
worry.
thank you, but I feel like I am the way I am because I grew up with women. Like I was raised by like my mother and my sister basically after like my parents' divorce. So like I can sympathize. Um, because yeah. So do you find yourself uh like dealing with the challenges of like being like maybe like one of the only women like on a male dominated like lineup? Because like I know like when I was first producing my shows, and I didn't even realize this, but I was mostly booking like guys like
Yeah,
for the
that's
first few shows, and I was like, I don't like this. Like I need there to be a change of pace. I need a new, dynamic. It's just all guys and guys and guys. I was like, I need to book more women. I need to book more women.
it's normal. And I think that, first of all, I understand that like funny is funny. And sometimes you book an all male lineup because just for that reason. Like, funny is funny. These guys are amazing and I want to have them on my show. And I get it.
Yeah.
I also understand it's so scary to get that like feedback, like another all male show. Like, that's a scary thing because in like the current dynamic and culture we're in, like, it's important to have some equality.
Yeah.
Comedy is different. Um, yes, it is definitely interesting to I've been on many shows where I'm the only female. You know, and you do feel this need to be like one of the boys and like
Yeah.
shit talk and whatever and shoot the shit and have drinks with them or whatever.
Yeah.
I do tend to, one of my ways to navigate it, when I first started, I wasn't doing this. I was dressing as myself, as like a girl, like the first bit, but then that presented other challenges with male comics wanting
Yeah.
to, and like navigating that. So now typically I dress like a 10-year-old boy when I do shows because I just don't want people, um, whether it's audience members and or male comics, looking at me in that way. Like, I want to be
Yeah.
one of the guys in that sense, which is ridiculous, but the truth. Because I just don't want the complication of all of it. And it
Yeah.
does help me on stage also feel more comfortable and feel like less of a, Jason told me, and actually another prominent comic told me when I had started, like, one of the challenges you're going to have is that, and this makes me sound full of myself, it's not what I believed. I had never thought of it this way before until they
Hmm.
said that. But they told me that a lot of people coming to comedy shows, like audience members, are coming on a date.
Yeah.
And the guy is not going to feel comfortable laughing at my jokes until his date is
Wow.
laughing at the jokes.
Yeah.
So that was something I had to take
Oh,
into
that's interesting. Yeah.
well. Um, but yeah, it is male dominated, but like the women I've met in comedy fucking rock. And
Yeah.
I've met one of my best friends in the whole world I met through comedy, like amazing. And it's just I'm still navigating it. I'm only like 2.5 years in. So
Yeah.
I've done a lot in those 2.5 years, but I am still navigating these things. And when I reply to these questions like this, I'm also like thinking about it. Um, because I'm still going through it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Totally. Yeah, no, yeah, thanks for the insight. Because like I definitely like once because I think like I realized that I was booking more men to women. Like I realized it myself, but then someone else pointed it out. They're like, "Yo, like you need to change your pace." I was like,
Yeah.
"You're right. You're absolutely right."
Yeah.
And so I was doing Bobby Oliver,
Sounds extremely familiar.
Southern comic. She's had her Dow Comedy Studios in K-Town.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, remember
Yes.
that? Yeah, so she's very like famous for like in the community for like hosting kind of like women like led shows and like
Yeah.
LGBTQ
I've done.
shows just cuz like, at a lot of the other venues like it's just, not that. And
Yeah.
so she wanted to create like a space for comedians and those groups.
Yeah.
And so I was doing shows there. I even took like one of her comedy like writing classes, and that's when I started meeting more
If you,
women in comedy. And then that's when I started like, hey, like I do the show, like I would love to, have you on. But I only booked them if I thought they were like absolutely funny, and I knew that
because
the audiences who were going to my
yeah.
shows would like them.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's super fair. I think again, like funny is funny, and like you do need to book the comics that you feel are, give a chance to someone that you think might be funny or whatever. So
Yeah,
it is really like a difficult subject to broach, especially in comedy. It's not like a workplace where you're like, I think I think it's difficult and like good for you for listening to what that person said and acting on it. And I mean, it's hard. Even like I've produced shows where it's like almost all like I only had like one other girl on it because I'm just like these guys are so funny and whatever. But it's such a tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
All I can say, it's tough, and I get it. But
I did this. No, what was that?
you were doing a good job. You're fine.
I'm still trying. I'm still learning. I did this show once in North Hollywood. It was at this like hookah lounge slash restaurant. You know the one? And
Oh.
I get there at 9, and it's like you know who used to book it, and he was known for booking like so many people. Like it was like a mix of rappers and comedians.
Okay, so I know exactly who you're talking about.
I was like, okay, interesting mix.
R.I.P.
And he wasn't there that night, but it was definitely his show. And I spoke to the host, and I had been there for an hour and a half. I'm like, yo, dude, like, where am I on the lineup? And he like pulls out this like notepad. He goes,
and it was probably like this big.
Yeah, he was like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's like, you got about like 8 or 9 people ahead of you. I'm like, bro.
I gotta go.
And I'm like, all right, like I'll chill and get a drink. So I go to the bar, I get a drink, sit back down. And sure enough, the cops come and raid the place. I guess because like there was like a noise ordinance thing, like someone had complained and just like totally shut down the show, so I didn't even get to perform. So thankfully I didn't drive too far. I was living in East Hollywood at the time. So
oh, that's awful. That's so funny.
But yeah, I've had yeah. I've had some
was that like your worst experience?
No, there was another show. It was my own show, and I booked a headliner, and we were super cool at first, and we were in the green room, and he was complaining. It was a night. I mean, obviously it's a night show because most comedy shows are at night, but the stand-up comedy had booked me on like the later show. I think it was like a 10 o'clock show, and the headliner was like literally like complaining in the green room to me. He was like indirect about it, but I could feel him directing his anger at me. He was like, "Oh, this fucking show, it's 10 o'clock."
Oh, because you.
I'm like, and he made me feel super uncomfortable. And all the other comics were hanging out like on a table inside the actual room. And I was like, "I'm."
Who this headliner is after?
Huh?
Will you tell me who this headliner is after?
I'll tell you after. Yeah, I'll tell you after. And so he's just complaining the whole time. I'm like, I can't deal with this negative energy. So I go back into the main room. I'm watching the show. After the show, everyone hangs out. We're all talking. Oh, that was fun. Blah blah blah. We're all taking photos. And then he literally comes up to he gets in my face.
No.
He gets right in my face. He goes, "Hey, so when are you paying me?" He's like, "You paying me right now, right?" I was like, and I was like,
"What?"
And he's tall. He was a tall.
Is he very tall? Oh,
very tall. I mean, I'm also 5'6", so everyone's much taller than I am.
Fair enough.
So he was huge. And he was like looking down at me like, it was like the Big Lebowski. "Where's my money, Lebowski?" It was like right there. God. And I'm like, to get him out of my face, I was like, "I'll just Venmo you now. Just like get the F out of my face." And that was it. And I never booked him since. I was like,
of course not. It's terrifying unless you have a death. That's so scary.
Yeah.
That I've heard these stories too. Again, I'm not going to name any names, but I've heard like shows that I've like opened for or whatever, and like with the person that got me on them. This is actually in Canada, who brings up a lot of people like bigger names from the US that I've opened for up here. Like crazy shit. People are aggressive.
People are nasty.
I also understand at the same time. Like, there have been shows that I've been said I'm going to be paid for that I've never been paid for. Like, many.
Yep.
And
I've been there.
That's part of comedy that, like, they also don't talk about when you're, like, a mid-level comic. Like, you're getting booked on shows, but, like, it's these showcase shows or whatever, or you're featuring or whatever, and then you just, like, never get paid.
Never get paid, yeah.
And then it's kind of like you're in this awkward position because you're just starting out. You're like, Do I ask? How do I mention it without cutting off, potential future opportunities? How do I navigate this? And it's like kind of scary. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that?
I think at that point I'd be like learn like knowing what I know now, and if I were to ever get back into it, or just like in the for future potential gigs, I would just be like, if they don't like right away, I'd be like, hey, here's my Venmo, or here's my
Just,
Cash App, just like
yeah.
just kind of
That's
hinting.
another thing about being a woman too. And it's just like an added layer of like scared to ask for it. Like, and I
Yeah,
can't help it. Like I shouldn't think that way and I shouldn't be that way. But
yeah,
it's just an added like I don't want to be the bitch in comedy and I don't want to be labeled that way. And like I know that men talk in comedy and all these different things. So I want to be like the cool girl that they want on the show that they enjoy being around or whatever opportunity. But it's
yeah.
so hard to balance
At
also
the same
being like,
time, yeah, you don't want to get taken advantage of.
yeah. So it's kind of a weird like, yeah, I don't know. I'm figuring it out, as I said before, but
Yeah. Um.
so you're not
Well,
comedy anymore?
I don't do stand up anymore. I again, so like I loved it. I loved while I was doing it, but it just wasn't my passion. It wasn't what I really. And this was what I was telling Jason Collins, um, that I admire comedians,
Hmm.
I admire comics and stand ups, but my love is to
Yeah.
be on stage at doing a play, being in a short film, being in a movie. Like that's where my passion lies,
Which we,
and it always has been.
say, I have to say before we sign off, I was at your premiere for Little Boy.
That's right.
Which was an honor to be there. It was incredible. It was so good. Like genuinely, when the lights came, like afterwards, like Jason and I turned to each other and we were like, okay, Alex
This
is
kid is going places.
incredible. We were like, what the fuck? Like we were just like we didn't know like what you had in like how incredible you are. Like well-rounded and incredible actor, obviously like all the stuff. And we literally just
Thanks.
turned to each other. We were so confused. We were like,
Yeah. No.
so this was amazing and he's amazing. It was like we were genuinely like, okay, like it was shocking. It was
Wait,
all
you cut out. Can you say how amazing I was again? I'm just.
sure.
Yeah. That was
I was blown away. Like I couldn't. It was.
literally
It's
too
I was
soon.
eviscerated. I was no. I got radiation poisoning. I know, like
No, I
incredible.
appreciate it. Yeah, that means a lot. I'm hoping that this project, because
Brings
like we didn't want to get into like the politics of the movie. All we wanted to tell
it was.
was what factually happened and
Mm,
how young these kids, they were in their 20s doing this, mission, that literally changed the world as we know today, even,
yeah,
so like that's all we wanted to, to show was this is what happened. This is what they were dealing with. You decide whether it was the right decision or not. We're
yes,
not telling you what to think, but this
yeah.
is what happened.
It was
And
so well done. It's.
thanks.
I'm really glad you did it, and yeah. Again, I was like speechless. I'm telling you, I just couldn't when it was done. It was incredible. Like it was so well done. It was incredible. Your acting was amazing, and yeah, like I said, I just remember like looking over at Jason. We were like, okay, like it was so good. And then we went into the show after, but it was like, I was, it, yeah, it
You're
blew
like
me away.
on stage at the
It
show.
blew me away. Yeah,
Uh, totally blank. And then Hans with his like three kids. He was like, "Hey, is this a kids movie?" I was like,
definitely not. Oh yeah,
no,
God, Hans,
yeah."
yeah, just running around.
All
So,
right, Jen. Well, it was a pleasure having you. Real quick before we sign off, do you have any upcoming shows in LA so people can go and
um,
watch
I,
watch you be funny
I will have some upcoming shows in LA in the fall.
in the
I'm working
fall? Okay,
back. Yeah,
okay,
right.
and then
Right now, if there's any listeners in Austin, I'm going to be in Austin August 24th to the 28th.
Okay.
And otherwise, I'm around Toronto doing lots of shows here.
Great.
You can
And
just go to my
and where can we follow you?
Yeah, go to my Instagram to look up dates. I post them on my stories all the time.
Yeah.
It's Genevieve. That's like Genevieve, Genevieve. Dubé, Dubec on Instagram and TikTok.
Amazing. Well,
Amazing.
thanks. It was lovely talking to you, and I can't wait to see you.
It was nice to.
Yeah, and yeah, thanks again, and I'll talk to you later.
Alrighty, I'll talk to you later. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe so you'll get notifications when new episodes drop. Thanks to my guest, Genevieve Dubé Carpenter. Music by Mark Fabian. Produced and engineered by Robert Altschiller. Recorded at Command Recording Studios. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Kill the Small Talk Podcast and at command_recording_studios. We'll see you next time. Bye.